Hello, welcome to Failure Week, where we get to talk about failure. I'm here in Macedonia, and we found that in my conversations with people that there's a real reluctance to try anything that might fail. So I wanted to talk about that. So why do we want to not fail? So first of all, one of the biggest reluctances that I talked about yesterday is people don't set a specific goal. So, it's like if the goal isn't specific, then you can avoid failure. So I just want to talk about once you've set a goal and you might set yourself up for failure, what does failure look like and what are the three aspects of failure that you can mitigate? So the first one is failure to get a result, right? You always get a result, but you might not get the result you want. So let's say you wanted to sell 50 of your product and you only sold 3. You get a failure, right? And that is the result that you get, and that result may have other implications, like you don't have the money you want, you feel like you've wasted time, that you could have been doing something else. So those are the physical, actual results you get, is that you failed to get the result you wanted, and there's some physical thing in the physical world you have to deal with. And most of us can deal with that. Most of us can be like, okay, I only sold 3, I wanted to sell 50, and now I have to deal with where do I get the money, or how do I continue, or do I even continue with my business? So that's the physical result, and I don't think that's what most people are afraid of. Most people don't, we all know we're going to survive and it's going to be okay. The other 2 results are the results that people are mostly afraid of. One is what people will say about me. And again, here in Macedonia, people are in a slightly conservative society. It's just coming out into the new economy, and it's not really clear what the rules are, right? The old rules are people are still following them, and they're not sure what other people are going to say about that failure, right? I said I was going to be an entrepreneur, and I was going to do this, and it didn't succeed, and I didn't make money. What are other people going to say about me? So you have to know yourself, and you have to find a support system of people who will be supportive of you, because if you want to be an entrepreneur of any kind, you're going to have some failures, and you need to surround yourself with people who will say something. And the truth is that most people don't care that much about your life. So you might be afraid of what people are going to say, but frankly, most of the people don't care that much. So when you're afraid of failure and afraid of what people will say, you know what, don't worry about it. They don't care as much as you think. And then the third failure issue, which is usually the hardest for people, is what am I going to say about myself? If I said I was going to sell 50 and I only sold 3, how am I going to treat myself? What is the conversation in my own head about failure, right? And I gave the example yesterday that I'd hurt my ankle, and I was walking down the street and I was carrying these bags and I couldn't put my shoes on because I put one of those bad, and I looked like an idiot. And I couldn't take a taxi because I don't know the language. And, I had all these conversations in my head, thanks for the thumbs up, about my own failure, right? There was nobody looking at me. There was the results were painful, but not that bad. But the hard part was looking at the thoughts in my own head. And so this is something, again, if you have a good peer group, you can talk to them about it, but it's also something that you can just look at. Like, those are your own thoughts. You are allowed to judge yourself in a more positive way. And one of the tricks that I love, which is one of my favorite, from Sean Stevenson, from his book, Get Off Your Butt, with 1 T, butt. And he says, what you do is, if you hear yourself saying something to yourself that you wouldn't say to your best friend, apologize to yourself. So, we say things to ourselves that we would never let pass our lips out loud, right? We'll be like, oh, I'm such a loser. I mean, you would never say that even to your enemy, right? I'm such a jerk. I can't believe I'll never succeed. Like, you would never say to somebody else, you'll never succeed, but you say it to yourself freely. So apologize. If you hear yourself making that negative talk, saying something like, oh, I'll never succeed, apologize to yourself. Say, oh, I can't believe I said that, just like you had said it out loud, right? So if I hear myself saying, oh my goodness, you'll never have, any success with this business, then I would say to myself, oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. I'm so sorry. So this will help you with your negative talk, which is one of the hardest results of failure, is what you say to yourself every time you fail. So that's my tip for today about how to mitigate the 3 aspects of failure. And for entrepreneurs, you know, it's inevitable. You won't succeed at everything you try. You won't always get the results you want. You will always get results, and it's up to you to make the best of whatever happens. So thanks again for watching, and I will be in public room today after 3 p.m. So if anybody wants to meet me, any startups or entrepreneurs, I will be there to meet you, and yeah, reach out to me if today doesn't work for you. Thanks.